goodness.
Don't say you're on the spot.
Well, no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's just getting off the freeway, getting all the anxiety out. But it's great because, I mean, everybody's faces just are totally love, so I'm going to try to reflect that back. Unfortunately, because I wasn't here, I wasn't able to kind of give my answers in more of a succinct way. But, since this is a piece right here that I can talk about, since it's the one closest to me right now, in light of the exhibition, as far as abstraction, Myrtis sent me some awesome questions. Why, as an abstract artist, what is your process? Where does your mind go? What are you seeking to achieve? And it was great because I've had the last few days to really think about that. And for me, one, because I delve in the abstract world in my sculpture, and I delve in realism in my photography and my painting as well. And I think I kind of brought it all together in one phrase. And it's almost, it makes me shake because it's such a, when I work in realism, I work with my mind. When I work in abstraction, I work with my heart. And so much of what I try to achieve abstractly is really about uncovering the depth and the inconsistency and the impurity. It's a cleansing. When it happens and the movements come, it's like a regurgitation of an ancient tongue, of an ancient language, of an answer to a problem, of a spell I can put on you. All of these things. This piece right here is called The Barber of Becoming. And it was one of my truer pieces as I kind of went on to get the route of, first of all, dealing with the concept of abstraction, I want to separate it because all I know is that when we think about abstraction, the way it was given to me in a Western form where it was a way of diverting from what was the norm during the Renaissance and whatnot. But my primary education was in Zimbabwe, where there wasn't this tear between realism or abstraction. It was just, it is. And so that's really, if I try to continue to define those words, I'm just trying to talk about something that I don't really know much about. I just know what is. And so in this piece was done after my grandfather, which was really a second father to me, died. And I was kind of introduced to Taoism, and it talked about the different stages after death. And the Barber of Becoming to me was such a beautiful stage because it was the moment at which the soul would return back into this existence or into some existence. And so how do you express that abstract? How do you express that period? Right? And so I could see my soul bursting open wide and reaching out and finding. And so that is representation, this movement is a representation of that spirit. And sometimes, within the work you have to use some things that may lead the mind towards, to give it an anchor. And that's where I think that figurative or realism can come into play because it can anchor those who may not be as totally versed. And so that some of those aspects are in there, but those aspects are all in nature. And they're all about you, they're everywhere. That's all I say about that.
Well, thank you, Scott.
Listen, I'm so sorry.
No, there they are.
So of course he'll be around, and you can ask him other questions. He can speak to you one-on-one about his other pieces. But yes, of course.
I have to say, since he is here, he did make it. Coming from New York to here, taking about 8 hours.
Yes.
So I think he really needs to hear this. When I entered the room and turned and saw that, because I was listening to him analyze, kind of what was going on here and here. And when I entered the room, I just came to a complete stop. And I looked at it. I was trying to put my own meaning into it and couldn't. So I walked back out to get my friend here. And I said, please Myrtis walked back to the room with me, but people were stopping her and talking, and I was dead on it. I was going to stay until I got her attention, and then she walked back with me. We didn't know entering the room that you were going to be speaking on this piece. So it was meant for me to hear, because what it was saying to me was I was feeling that I was centering on my inner self.
Oh, wow.
You know, the meaning, the real meaning of just being someone, of being human.
Yeah.
And then to hear you say that, I said, oh my God. So, you know, nothing is new. Nothing is new. So I appreciate your being here, because it's probably going to cause me to try to get it now. We did already have one piece. Already have one piece. There's more damage. If I'm not outfitted.
Well, you know, it's just, when any time in life gives us a chance to really just express on the edge. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm on the edge right now. You know, I've been on the road since 9:30. I'm like on the edge. And I want to, you know, when it allows me to respond and talk so viscerally about, you know, opportunities to be able to talk and express yourself about your work are not commonplace. And as a visual artist, I live in a small space. You know, I work in a small space in my head. There's no one there, well, you know, it's got this or it's got that. There's no conversation, there is no click, there's no background singers. It's just all, exactly, it's just around and around and around and around. And you know, anytime when you like to talk and like people feed me, it's like, I gotta have that, I need that, you know, I need that now. And, you know, and you're giving it to me.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're giving it to me.
You gave it to me.
Oh my goodness. I'm so
Let me give you that.